What is up, guys? Thank you so much for clicking on this video, and today we're going to be getting the K-swapped Subaru Impreza to run for the first time in over a year and a half that I've been doing. I've been hoarding parts for a little bit, so it's gonna be nice to finally put everything on now, so let's get into it. So I finally got my 74mm throttle body from K-Power to go up to the K-Power intake manifold, and you can see I got the B series TPS, that way they're a lot stronger. And if you can see here, I got the throttle cable wheel taken off, and you'll see why. If I measure the ball, you can see that's right at 5/16. I'm not holding it perfectly. 5/16 right there. And then this hole on the right is where that little ball would go through to then spin the throttle body with the cable. If I take the measurement of the inside of this, I couldn't hold it and measure it at the same time, but it is a 1/4 inch. So this hole is too small. So I have a 5/16 drill bit, and I'm gonna try to drill this out. It is a little bit close right here, but worst case scenario, I can figure out a way to fix that. But I gotta drill this out to let the OEM Subaru throttle cable fit. Well, it does suck drilling into a brand new piece of billet aluminum, but let's go test out the fit. So there's the slot, so this will go here, fit in, and just like that, look at that. Ooh, that cable's tight in there too. So we'll get that mounted up. That's actually backward because the throttle body opens. I don't know, I'll have to figure that. I got some adjustment on this whole bracket. This is what holds the cable, moves as well. And then this sucks. I got all this extra slack. I'm just gonna have to kind of tie that up because I don't want to have to make a new one yet, but it'll work for the meantime. And I also got my 2200cc injectors in, brand new OEM Bosch. It says only for CNG, which is compressed natural gas, which is what I'm not running, but I think that it may just say that and I can still run it because it said for K20, K24s. Look at how big this outlet mouth is. So yeah, this can definitely push some fuel out. And just like that, I applied grease on both sides of all the O-rings, and now I can slap the fuel rail back on. But I'm gonna do that off camera because it's kind of hard since these do wiggle a lot. But let's get this part put on too. I also got two more very important packages. This is the wiring specialties rear wheel drive K-swap harness, and I got Bosch injector plugs, GM intake air temperature sensor, and a B series TPS sensor. So I put all that information in, and so now I have this harness which is all ready to be plugged into the Subaru, but I have never done this before, so there's going to be a lot of trial and error, but at least I got the top of the line things. This is definitely going to be a learning process, so let's hope I can do this successfully. And as for the second important package, it is hidden right here. You just gotta pry this open. I have my haltech 1500 Elite ECU, which that also has a plug to plug directly into here. I got this nice tray made out of thick ABS plastic. I'm gonna put like little lights up here. So I went ahead and routed the wiring specialties harness in the bay and got everything plugged in that I could. As you can see, I do have quite a few spare plugs with nothing to go to. I got these 3 extra ones here, these 2 ones right here. As you can see, I did route it through here. It was kind of a pain to pull it through with all my climate control system still there, but I was able to do it. Trying to make this look nice is going to be pretty difficult because like I said, I want to have a little showcase right there, but with all these spare wires, it's going to be pretty difficult. As you can see, stuff is hooked up. I have 4 wires connected elsewhere other than the ones, you know, in the engine bay. I have the starter signal, ignition power, fuel pump, and the ground I literally just have sitting right there. And then the power to the ECU is actually on the top of the starter solenoid. And I was actually able to utilize my OEM Subaru starter solenoid power cable as well. I was able to reach and fit over the post, so that kind of saved me a little bit of time there too. And with these, I guess that's 5 wires connected. This is how far it got me. So if you listen closely, when I turn the key, you can hear the fuel pump running, and you can also see pressure on the gauge. and that PSI is right around 45 or so. It's just whatever came out of the box for this Aeromotive fuel pressure regulator, so I'll have to do some messing around with that once I actually get into it. Those wires also connected, I can do this too. We turn the key. I can crank the engine with my Subaru's key, stock OEM, everything like that. So with the ignition positive, it has to be uninterrupted ignition, which means some of them, when you turn the key, you actually lose power. So it has to keep power while the key is turning to turn the engine. For the start signal, this is actually the wire that went straight to my Subaru's OEM starter. I cut the little clip off that would plug onto my Subaru starter and just wired it straight there. The power wire, like I said, pretty self-explanatory. It can only really go in one spot with how this harness is routed. And then I have this going to my rear battery relocation, so that's what this little thing is, kind of cool. And then when I was taking out my Haltech 550 from my Subaru engine setup, this was the wire he used for the fuel pump. All right, well, I got my 7 range spark plugs installed. I ordered NGK coil packs. I ordered a 4-pack off of Amazon, and they actually sent a wrong one with it. So you can see this one has the little clip on top, whereas these have the clips on the side. So I'm using one of my old coil packs that actually I don't think work, but we're still gonna see if it'll crank. I got my gold hardware, still missing my gold billet dipstick, but I do have it topped off with oil. I'm going to load a bass tune in here, see if I know what I'm doing, and see if I can get the engine to fire up or do something at least. Just mess around with the software a little bit. All right, so I went to the engine configurations and uploaded the K28, even though this is a K24. I did get it to fire, so let's see what I'm talking about. All right, I now have all of the injectors set to 2200 cc's, so I'm not gonna flood it. So we should get as close as we have been. We just hit an amazing milestone. I am so proud that I got this far and I didn't have any outside help. I just watched a few videos on how to download the base map and everything like that. So we making progress, but we still got a long journey ahead of us. And if you look closely, you can see all the wiring is missing. And that is because I put everything right where I want it to be, behind here. So this is kind of what the setup looks like. I just have all the wires shoved in here. I can still get to the EFI fuse, EFI relay. This is the external can. I have this plugged in still. I'm gonna have to figure out how to route this once all my interior panels are on, but I want to leave this connected. That way I can just kind of have this ready. This is kind of annoying because this doesn't sit flush because of that, so I may get like a spacer or something to actually mount this. And then I ran all my necessary IOs, like all the ones I need for the most part, start, signal, ignition, power. I ran those behind here and up and down. My light just died, but I have them sitting right here so that way I can connect them easily, because these are my wires I had them to before, that one and this one, so that way those don't have to go very far. I had a separate fuel pump power and fan power. With the fuel pump power, I shoved it down here, and now it comes out here. It's still not going to be long enough to get to the fuel pump, but I have this other wire that is the same gauge to get all the way to the back. And then for the fan power wire, I routed it all the way down the back and then above the pedals over here. Routed it through the OEM stock harness right here, and then it comes out to this. And I don't think I'll actually have to go straight to the fans because I still have my OEM fan relay and everything like that, so I may just pull the wire that actually goes to my fan plugs out and just wire this to that wire. That way I don't have double wires. All right, so everything is bolted on and mounted, and I guess the belt they supplied with the power steering delete kit was not for AC. I just put an AC compressor on. I'm actually missing the bottom bracket, but it's actually solid enough with the two top mounts. Gonna be a tight fit with the hoses and everything. I may actually point that down and run a hard line to the bottom of my radiator, which is the next thing on the list to get the engine fully finished. So now I have the tensioner on, so I have a belt to drive the alternator. I have an oil pressure sensor, so hopefully we'll see oil pressure finally. And I have the wideband sensor, so we can actually do the tuning properly when that comes time. I started it earlier and it wasn't charging at all, so I gotta look more into that, but I mainly want to see how much oil pressure I am building. So now for the final start. I also went into my rev limiter, lowered my rev limiter to 2700 RPMs, just because I don't know how to set up two-step yet, so I did this just for the fun of it. And just like that, boys, we got everything all figured out for this video at least. Next up, to get the engine fully complete, we have to get the coolant lines and radiator set up, because the lines are on both sides. They're both on the driver's side, the upper and lower hoses. Where on the Subaru, the upper hose is on the passenger side, so unless I build like a crossover tube, I want to see if I can get a radiator that has them both already, so I don't have to worry about that. But I am having a party tonight, so I'm going to add a little montage. I'll probably rev it out for y'all a little bit then. Yo, we partying right now. She, it's not focused.
Stadium vlog? I'm about to turn that camera on. Oh my god, what's up, baby boy?
Goddamn, boy.
I'm looking black as hell. Nigga, you broke, nigga. Hey.
Who called my name? What? Goddamn, what?
The for Stadium vlog?
What we got out here?
Wait a second.
On video,
Oh, what's up? Hey.
Oh,
Alrighty guys, so we're back with the vlog here. We're gonna, this is the Stadium vlog. We're right here with Ricky S14, the most famous S14 in Houston. Lamau bags, the only negative 30 camber on a Ford Focus ST. Then we got Jordan, the owner of Notacock.
thank you so much for watching. Follow my Instagram, TikTok, everything under that username right there. Like, subscribe, and motherfucking peace.